Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, the market is $2.32 trillion. It's off by 3%. But look at this, 62,500 plus for Bitcoin right now, 2,500 for Ethereum, Tether 119 billion plus market cap, USDC switches spots just from an hour ago from USDC going back and forth, changing the 6 and 7 spot. XRP back at number 7 and USDC 35 billion plus, XRP 61 cents, off by 1.5 on the 24, up 4.9 on the 7-day. Range of price between 61 63 cents. It's bounced in a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on it. But let me show you this before we get started today. You know who this guy is. He's one of the biggest liars of our lifetime. It's Dr. Fauci. Take a listen.
Again, we have experience with this type of vaccine in billions of people. It's a safe vaccine. Of course, with the mRNA, there's a very, very, very low risk, particularly in young men, of getting a myocarditis. But if you look at the risk of myocarditis from COVID itself is greater than the risk of the vaccine.
Okay, so now he's trying to blame it on the actual illness instead of what was supposed to be the remedy, right? Here's what I can tell you. You can now get a spike detox trio, and you can start the dissolution process of spike protein buildup in your body, according to Dr. McCullough here. Or you can get spike support formula, which also helps do the same exact thing and try to reduce the side effects of that shot. Or you could just get yourself a medical kit if you haven't got the shot, or even if you have. This is just a great kit to have for family members, and each and every family member should have one. We do, and you should too. It has ivermectin, generic Z-Pak, and amoxicillin, all things you need without having to go see a doctor, right? And that's the most important part. And because we understand from this last experience from this jackass that it is very hard to get medicines that work for all of us when they're trying to push through something that they have a patent for. That's right. Dr. Fauci and some of his fellows at the NIH all made over $700 million on a patent for the vaccine. How about that? You know what else is interesting? It's interesting to me that someone could be the head of the CDC. You could have people at the NIH, and they're allowed to push for a mandate that makes them rich. Anybody else see a problem with that too? Let's get to it. Rise in crypto, historic September for Bitcoin. XRP breaks 3.5 year downtrend, aiming for $1 by the end of the year. This is Cointelegraph. Crypto hacks dropped 61.7% from August. Gemini says goodbye to Canada, shutting down customer accounts. NFT sales hit rock bottom, lowest since 21. So if you believe in that market, might be a good time to go get some. Not financial advice. And then here we have this front right here to fill you in. XLS 65D, XLS 66D, single asset vault is the SAV, the 65D. We've simplified the design so the vault now holds assets directly, cutting out 2 unnecessary transactions for a more efficient experience. 66D is the lending protocol updated to align with the new vault changes, eliminating the need for separate deposit and redeem steps, streamlining the process even further. Compliance. Both the vault and lending protocol updates address clawback and freezing requirements, making them simpler and easier to use. If you want to track it, you can see the links there, and you can find those on my profile or Ripple X as well. Eleanor Tarrant reminds all of us October 7th, the deadline looms for the SEC to appeal the Ripple ruling. Will it? I think it is highly likely that they will, but it is awesome to watch this process unfold here. We'll see what happens here. All right, so now looking at this, Ripple whales accumulate 470 million. XRP as major changes loom for XRP Ledger and DeFi, which we just went over with you. And then here's a reminder from this morning's video, and we have a lot more to go over here, so this ain't rehashing anything. It's just if you missed the first video, Ripple is delighted to announce they secured in-principle approval for financial services license from the UAE Dubai Financial Service Authority. unlocking end-to-end managed payment services in the UAE. Very, very big news. Stuart Alderati says to that, good news as Ripple continues to add our global license portfolio, 55 plus and counting. A testament to our continued engagement with global regulators and the growing opportunity in jurisdictions that choose to support innovation. No doubt, well said from Stuart. Fiona Murray, Managing Director for Asia Pacific at Ripple, revealed that Singapore handles more than 50% of Ripple's digital asset payment flows. But we need to understand collectively, Singapore is a gigantic financial hub for the world, just like the UK is. Don't sleep on that. They don't do capital gains there. Just something to note. Stalled crypto bill FIT21 could become law by Christmas. And this is said by Representative Tom Emmer. Okay, all right now. Well, Emmer believes that key elements of FIT21, which would establish a crypto regulatory framework, could become law via year-end spending deal. So check this out. This is not long. He says the House Majority Whip, Tom Emmer, is optimistic that support for crypto legislation has reached critical mass in the United States and even believes that FIT21, the stalled crypto market structure bill, could become law before the holidays. Says here, I think that bill at the end of year if there's an end of year spending bill, maybe some parts of the bill end up in the final deal. This is what Emmer told Decrypt of FIT21 during an interview Monday at Masari Mainnet Conference in New York. FIT21 would establish, a federal framework for regulation of digital assets that would jointly overseen by the CFTC and the SEC. The bill would allow issuers to self-certify assets as digital commodities and has been blasted by both Biden and SEC Chair Gary Gensler. However, though the bill passed the House this past spring, the key support 71 Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi, the bill has since stalled in the Senate, where no vote on its potential passage has been scheduled. We know that Senator Chuck Schumer is holding the bill back on purpose. As a standalone bill, FIT21 would not only need to pass the Senate, but also receive Biden's signature to become law. If elements of the bill were to become attached to an end-of-year spending bill, however, that could significantly streamline the process effectively. The ability of the federal government to function would be on the line as leverage, and President Biden would likely be less inclined to veto an entire government funding package due to a few pro-crypto elements. So things are heating up. We're getting that window. And don't forget, we had bipartisan support in the House when that bill was passed, including Maxine Waters. So head on a swivel. And it makes a lot more sense why we understand that the largest custodian for the world, BNY Mellon, which is also a Ripple partner, has been granted the access to custody crypto and provide crypto custody services, where all of the other banks in the United States have to adhere to the SAB 121 rule from the SEC, which prohibits it. So you can see these things are being put in place. And, I don't know if you know this, but BNY Mellon isn't exactly servicing you and me, right? So why are they allowed to custody crypto and provide those services? Because the institutions need them. Just like this piece of news. U.S.-based financial service giant State Street has announced the appointment of a former Bank of New York Mellon Corporation executive to spearhead its digital asset solutions unit. So now, we had BlackRock report yesterday in the news we covered that they're getting into the stablecoin business. A $10+ trillion asset under management, BlackRock getting into stablecoin business, right? BNY Mellon, largest custodian for the world, is allowed to custody crypto, but no one else is. The majority whip is talking about the idea of a legislation for crypto being attached to a year-end spending bill so it can't be vetoed. You see where we're going, right? And then Depository Trust Clearing Corporation has announced the results of U.S. Treasury Collateral Network tokenization pilot, finding robust functionality and potential. And then a reminder that April market report on cross-border payments from investment bankers, Julian Loki, mentions Ripple as a swift challenger along with other fintechs, many of which use Ripple and some XRP. Here you can see it right here. So everybody is in the mix. It's all pointed in the right direction, but they want us all to feel like it's never going to happen. Yesterday, we highlighted the fact that Pegah Sultani of Ripple, sitting alongside of Ryan Rugg from Citibank and Kalani Bhatia from Swift. And what is she doing there if they're not going to be collaborating? Well, they are going to be collaborating. That was the point of this webinar and the talk yesterday that we covered. All of this is happening. So now we get down to price, right? When are we going to see the market move? Well, we don't know. But we know, listen, I don't know about you. I never know when the market's going to move. I've never pretended to know. And neither have the technical analysts that I cover. They just show us the fundamental or the technical news on the chart. We cover the fundamental news. They give us the technical news. That combination, look at what's happening. Look at this, how it's gotten so tight in here. And we could bounce back and hit this Atlas line for all we know. And that slight retracement may come to us in the form of the SEC has decided to appeal on October 7th. Boom, the price comes back, hits the Atlas line. And then we have the launch of the real USD, and boom, and the price goes crazy. I don't know. That's just one scenario I think about. It doesn't have to happen that way, but that's exciting, right? And what about the year-end spending bill possibly getting crypto legislation attached to it? I think that could help take us up above that $1.50 and push us to $7 and beyond, right? Look, whatever's coming, the right wind is in the sails, whether it's by the end of the year or before the end of the year, or whether it's early next year with a new administration. We have it coming to us, and the reason I know that isn't really mathematical or magical. It's because of money. There have been more dollars pushed into crypto lobbying this year than any other year in crypto's existence. And that is why we're closer to legislation. As sad as a commentary as that is, that's exactly how the system works. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.